and welcome to the last race of season 15 of AOR Xbox F6, and this week we move from USA to Brazil. Now Brazil is one of the trickier tracks, and also it's one of the tracks that you're pretty much guaranteed to get rain either during qualifying or the race, and in this case we had a wet qualifying. It was meant to be drying up a wee bit then, so going out as late as possible was definitely the best thing you can do. So coming in here, keeping it in fourth as I go through the first of two corners. You can see that I'm constantly having to actually fight the car. At this point I am 6th in the standings, but definitely want and expect to be a bit higher than that. So keeping the gears as high as possible, going up the gears early, short shifting, just to try and keep the car stable. Dropping 6th and 5th just to get a wee bit of power down as I enter this section, which is a third gear, holding in third gear through this and the next corner before going up to 4th quite early just to give extra grip and stability, and going up and dropping into 3rd again for this corner here, really slow middle sector, and at this point just trying to feather the throttle in as much as possible. Obviously it's very difficult in the wet. Drop into 4th here and up the hill in having to fight again, just trying to get a wee bit too much power down, but it was a decent lap actually. You can see I've knocked off quite a significant amount over my previous lap, keeping it into the left as much as possible, and you can see at this point I was in pole position, but it was not to be. Chris went out a wee bit later than I did and stole the pole from me in the last race of the season, so congrats to him, that was a really good time. The race, it predicted mixed conditions. It splits the race into 6 parts, and parts 4 and 5 had the possibility of rain, so I think it indicated only light rain. But anyway, starting here in 2nd place alongside Chris, and again my starts are getting a bit better. I'm not gaining much from them, but I tend not to lose as much either, and I go through cleanly into the first of a couple of corners, not getting any track extensions of that, so it's always good to see this as a track that is incredibly easy to track extend on. I've got Evil Catmobile behind me, and he gets a good bit of slipstream and he just lunges it. It's just no need for that, to be honest, this early in the race. And then that's me now getting mobbed, and you can see Marco just having a wee bash there, or a tool actually maybe, and you can see here Evil Catmobile, honestly it should have been mentioned earlier, but look at the lag. He shouldn't have been in the lead, to be honest. I mean, I'm sure he's a nice guy, but his lag is problematic. It's just not fun to race against somebody that's lagging about like that, and I'm not the only one that's noticed, so hopefully the internet can get improved for season 16 of AOR. You can even see it dropping into a cross there, so the reason I'm pointing this out a wee bit, because obviously it's a bit ahead of me and technically didn't affect me, though it was getting close. You can actually see here, I don't know what he does, but I brake at the red bit and he just comes right across and brake checks me. There's just absolutely no need for that, and that's me 2nd, 3rd race in a row that I've got wing damage after the first lap, pretty much. So I try and hang on, but I'm just traction wise just doing poor. It's such a just running slightly wide in every corner, and I was getting close to clipping Marklin, so I just decided at this point just sod it, come in, just put on a new set of super softs and go back out and at least try and push, which is a bit more fun than fighting oversteer. At this point I'm maybe 4 seconds behind Aksu, but Aksu had his own issues. I think he got taken out in the first corner behind me, so yeah, he was having his own problems. But I'm just kind of fast forwarding through there because I had some good pace again around this track, and I caught up with the guys at the back of the pack. Evil Catmobile seemed to have been an accident. I'm not quite sure what actually happened, but certainly that's him potentially out of the race, and that's me just behind Glaring Christoph, who I've been seeing quite a bit recently in the last video, and possibly Japan as well, so I get a good run up the hill. By this point DRS is on because we're on lap 9, and just gonna...
We're approaching the pit window. You'll be on the super softs.
Probably should do research on these videos, watch them back through before I actually start talking over them. But regardless, I don't get the move done here, but I do get a much better run and take a wee bit of curve just to take the inside line and get the undercut on him. Keeping it to the left, making sure I've got tons of room, and I can see he just kind of moves to the side. My teammate Joski, I think, lets me past here, but it's a bit of a shame because I also like Glenn Christoph past him, which is unfortunate. I would have been okay if he just wanted to fight it a bit longer. But cutting on to lap 11, I'm now coming up for another overtake. I'm in P8 by this point, so back in points. And a similar move to Glenn Christoph down inside, taking a wee bit of curve. But I think my pace was a wee bit better at that exit, so that wasn't too hard to get past. Coming up the hill, we're now on lap 12, and I again am in for a pit stop. And this time I come in, switched super soft. I'd been holding off because Jeff kept talking about rain. But you can actually see as I come out, it actually starts raining immediately after I come out, after I change the tyres. So I thought I'd messed up. I thought I messed up pretty bad, but it turns out the rain at this point didn't really get that heavy, so it didn't affect me too much. And yeah, just fighting again with Aksu, but I think Aksu, he was being really generous with the space, which I do appreciate, and yeah, he's given me a ton of room. I think he possibly wasn't fighting it because he was in a different strategy, so I do appreciate that, but I kind of backed out as well because I was trying to also be clean and fair. So yeah, but I get a good run up the hill, coming up behind those guys. At this point, Glenn Christoph's disconnected, and I take a chance and just kind of go through on the basis that hoping he doesn't reconnect and it causes problems. But that was me, past Aksu for the second time after he'd unovertaken himself. And now we can jump on quite a bit here to lap 20. I'm catching up at this point with Marklin, but well, we both overtake Germel, but you can actually see Germel at this point I think had a flat tyre, so I went wide trying to avoid him when he'd given me tons of space, but I wasn't sure what was happening, so either way it didn't really affect me too much. But Marklin at this point goes much better way because the slower tyres tend to actually be better in kind of mixed conditions, so he's off and I wasn't for catching him, certainly not on these tyres. So yeah, just fast forwarding a wee bit as I do start to catch up at this point, and you can see Germel, it turns out that entire lap he'd been limping back with a popped tyre, and when he went to come into the pits he clipped the wall because he just couldn't control the car and it DNF'd him. So yeah, that was his race over, and really that meant all I had to do was get 1 point to finish third in the championship, which is kind of an unfortunate way to end it because we did a great battle all season. But at this point I decide, I'd been given the option by Jeff, stick with dry tyres or switch to inters. He wouldn't make a choice for me, so I decide I'm going to stick with dry tyres, and you can see I actually come out at this point next to GRT Simo and kind of tight into this corner. I think we end up both leaving each other a ton of room again. You don't want to end the season on a bad note by just being a wee bit too aggressive. So yeah, I think we were being both quite conscientious there anyway, especially because we had a wee bump in USA, but he'd sent me a message and there was no hard feelings anyway. It was more the game that did me over by creating that situation where I had to hand the place back and he didn't want to take it because the game doesn't tell him he needs to take the place back. So it was just a mess, but not of his doing. So that was unfortunate. But yeah, for some reason we were both racing quite generously, to be honest, in terms of space. But that's not a bad thing. It's always good to be respectful of each other. And at this point now I get a better run up the hill, DRS and rich mix, so I have a white arrow by the time I reach the corner, slightly lock up and take it wide, but just try not to get struggling with traction. And to be honest, I thought he might have gone past here because you can see I'm really struggling, but I don't know if he just didn't want to fight it or he'd also had problems with traction, but certainly he could have maybe got past at that point. And I'm just making a bit of a meal of it at this stage, running constantly wide, so I'm not getting away at all from him despite thinking I had a decent pace. I just needed to settle at this point and just try and get my driving back to a slightly more sensible state. Up ahead you can see Bayfield, who is not too far ahead. He's on mediums, and honestly I can't remember how long he's been on mediums. But you can see it says DRS disabled, and now that in the game is a warning usually that it's time to come in and change. And you see that I chose not to. I decided I would just wait and see a couple more laps. My pace didn't feel bad, but I came out behind Krish, who was way ahead of me at this point, obviously about 20 seconds or so if he's just come out of the pits. And I thought what I'd do is I'd see for the rest of this lap whether or not I could keep up with him. If I could keep up with him, then I would just stay on these tyres. It would be too big a penalty to actually come in and just change into intermediates. I'd asked Jeff, and Jeff kind of said the weather was maybe going to last 5-10 minutes more, which when you're racing, I wasn't kind of very good at doing the maths, but that probably would have taken us to the end of the race. So the implication was it was going to be wet till the end of the race, but I just thought I'd see how it goes. And although I'm struggling a wee bit with traction and Krish is getting away a wee bit, it's not by much, certainly not enough to justify a 20-second penalty. I did run wide there, which is why he gets a wee bit ahead, but in general the pace was pretty similar. So yeah, I mean, as long as this strategy paid off, I would probably be in quite a good position. And you can actually see DRS is now enabled again, which means that they think the track's drying out. And if you're on inters when DRS is enabled, you're on the wrong tyre, 100%. So I think Krish actually pits in this lap. So just by me not avoiding temptation to pit for inters, it actually allows me to get back in front of Krish. So absolutely chuffed that this strategy kind of worked out. And you can even see, although you wouldn't have seen it because I just skipped past it, but I was probably catching it to about 3+ seconds a lap. In fact, it would have been more than that. I was catching him basically seconds per sector, I think, at this point, and he has to pit as well. And that's me into third with 3 laps to go. And realistically, I think GRT Simo is the closest driver to me because the other guys are in the pits. So I just have to kind of keep it clean, and yeah, just fast forwarding a bit, I realised I was a wee bit behind Bayfield, but I knew for a fact Bayfield had a penalty of some sort, so I was just trying to push as hard as possible to try and get back within 3 seconds, because I had no penalties. I think even if I had one corner cut warning, that was the most I had. So you can see here coming up onto the straight, I'm like less than 2 seconds behind. So this actually meant, despite being third when I crossed the line, I should actually finish second, which is a great end to the season. And that actually means that with Guillermo finishing behind in my first ever season of AOR, I got third place in the championship. I got a win and quite a few other podiums, though I didn't help myself. I could maybe have had some more, but yeah, it's second place from being so far behind after lap 1 or 2 because I've taken damage through someone's lag. So yeah, hope you enjoyed the season. Like and subscribe, as I'll be posting again for F1 2018, and cheers for watching. Appreciate it. Thanks.